Good morning, you guys. I hope you're having a marvelous Monday. So today we are going to go over the work that you did today. Let's get started. So, the start of this packet is complete sentences, subject and predicate. So remember, we went through this with the cards of the first part for the subject, and the second part is the predicate, sentence structures. So, a simple sentence examples: the dog barks, the cat and dog fight, the dog likes to chase his tail and dig holes in the garden. Number 1 says Kelly eats toast. She also eats eggs. We've done this in the mornings when we do our morning work and our morning check-ins. So we have to find the best way to combine the sentences into a compound sentence. Kelly eats toast. She also eats eggs. The options are Kelly eats toast and eats eggs. Kelly eats toast and eggs. Kelly eats toast and also eggs. Or Kelly eats toast, comma, and she also eats eggs. Your best option for this one is going to be Kelly eats toast and eggs. That way you're not repeating anything that you were trying to say. Whoa, that hopped in there. So you should have marked B for number 1. Number 2, which sentence is a complete sentence? Can be hard to work for. Maggie did not like Clint listening to his headphones. Very bad music, or wants a better boss. Your complete sentence here is going to be B. It has a subject, Maggie, and it has the predicate. Did not like Clint listening to his headphones. It has the entire sentence. Tells us exactly what it needs to. Number 3, which sentence is a complete sentence? The dogs make a lot of noise. Can walk every night after dinner. Very, very bad names. Or Nisha's 2 dogs. Your answer here is going to be A. The dog makes a lot of noise. The reason for that is because we have the subject, the dogs, and we have the predicate, make a lot of noise. Number 4, Mark and Clara's little brother John. Regina taught her puppy new tricks, imagined they were river pirates, or raced his brother into the house. The answer for this one is going to be B. Regina taught her puppy new tricks. Your subject is Regina, and your predicate is taught her puppy new tricks. For these ones, you can also do what we did during our skills practice, and you can underline the predicate in each one. Oh, this thing is not good. The dogs and taught her puppy. So in order to help you figure out which one's the subject and which one's the predicate, I want you to go through your answers after this, whenever you're done watching this review video, and go ahead and underline all of your predicates in this first one. Continuing for number 5, which sentence is a complete sentence again? We'll call next week sometime. Paul went to the party with Anne, after the party, or liked each other's companies. Your answer for this one should be B. Paul went to the party with Anne. Again, if you're underlining your predicate, Paul is the subject and went to the party with Anne is your predicate. Loading. Shape partitions. So I know this is kind of a funny word, partitions, but it just means equal parts. So when a shape is cut into 2 equal shapes, each share is a half. When a shape is cut into 3, it's a third. When it's 4, it's fourths. So, for example 3, the square below has been split into 4 equal shares. Which picture shows the same square split into 4 equal shares in a different way? Your key word is 4 equal. There's 2 words, 4 equal. What in the world, Miss Nisley? I'm losing my mind. 4 equal. So W, we know definitely cannot be an option because it only has 2 different parts. We know that X can't be because even though it has 4 parts, they are not equal. We know that Z can't be a solution because it doesn't have equal parts. So your answer should be Y. So now onto your own practice. The circle above is cut into equal squares. Which word describes each share of the circle? And I said squares and I meant to say shares. Oops. Is this a fourth, a half, or a third? Well, you know that 2 equal pieces mean it's a half, so you should have marked B. Number 2, the rectangle is cut into equal shares. What answer names the shares of the rectangle as a whole? 2 halves, 4 fourths, or 3 thirds? We know it's not halves because it's not split into 2. We know it's not fourths because it's not split into 4. So the only one that would make sense is 3 thirds. That's how many are colored. 1, 2, 3. Number 3, each share of the circle below is a fourth of the circle. How many shares is the circle split into? 1, 2, 3, or 4? You can figure this out by looking at this very key word. Below is a fourth, or you can just count the pieces. 1, 2, 3, or 4. You know that the circle is split into 4 equal pieces. Number 4, the square below has been divided into 2 equal shares. Which picture shows the same square divided into 2 equal shares but uses different shapes? W is definitely not equal. X has 4 equal shares, not 2. And Z has 3 equal shares, not 2. So Y is your correct answer for this one. You should have marked D for number 4. Number 5, each equal share of the rectangle below is half of the rectangle. How many shares is the rectangle split into? Again, you can use that key word in the sentence where it says half, because we know that half equals 2, or you can just count the pieces. 1, 2. The square is split into 2 equal shares. Down to resources. Only 2 more to go. When you need to learn information, you can use certain resources. The different resources give you different types of information. Below is a list of some research sources that you will find in the library. We haven't really talked too much about these resource informations, but I think you guys can get it. The first one's an almanac, then an atlas, a bibliography, a book, a CD, a computerized card catalog, cookbook, dictionary, encyclopedia, field trip, glossary, index, all of these great things that you can find in the library. Had a drink. So, number 1, where is the best place to look up how to spell a word? You're going to look in the dictionary for this one. Letter D. Number 2, Peyton is at home looking at her brother's books. She decides she would like to learn more about the great white shark. What book should she look at? Let's go back up to the very, very top and look at all of these different options. So we have a dictionary. You wouldn't learn about a great white shark in the dictionary, just the definition. An almanac, if we go back up, is a book that comes out every year. It's made up of different lists, charts, and tables and information about what happened during the year. An almanac gives information about the weather and the moon, sun, and stars. You can also find information about events that took place during the year. We wouldn't really find out about a shark in that one, would we? The next option is an atlas and then an encyclopedia. So if we go back up to look at the definition of an atlas, it's a book of maps. Do you think we're going to find out about a shark in a book of maps? I don't think so. So the last part is encyclopedia. It is a book that can give you information on many subjects. It is usually divided into several volumes, one for each letter of the alphabet. The subject is an encyclopedia are organized in alphabetical order. This is a book that talks about anything. This is where you're going to find out about that great white shark that she wants to look at. So you should mark D for number 2. Number 3. Farah is writing a paper about the music business. She wants to find out how much singers get paid for their music. She has seen interviews with singers. She has also read books about record companies. She wants to find out how much money her favorite singer made last year. She also wants to know if her favorite singer will be releasing a new song. Where should Farah look for this information? In this one, you are going to look at the internet. That's going to be your best way to figure out about that singer. Number 4, Khalid has to write a report on Brazil for school. He does not know anything about Brazil, and he wants to learn some quick facts first. Where should he look? Do you remember where you should look for things around the world? Let's go back up and see. Encyclopedia, atlas, almanac, dictionary. Let's look at the A's. Almanac, book that comes up every year, is made of lists and charts and tables and information. Are you going to know about that? No. An atlas is a map. An atlas gives the names of locations of countries, cities, bodies of water, and other places. It'll also give you information such as the distance between 2 cities. Do you think that'll help him with Brazil? Maybe. The next one was dictionary and encyclopedia. A dictionary is a book you can use to find the meaning of the word. You wouldn't look in a dictionary. An encyclopedia gives you information on many subjects. So, for finding out about Brazil, if he wants to know some quick facts about Brazil, he should probably look in an encyclopedia. That's going to help him the most. So you should have marked A for number 4. Number 5 says, where is the best place to look to find information about parrots? Where would you look to find about parrots? You're going to look at an encyclopedia. So any of these things that you're trying to look up, like great white sharks, Brazil, parrots, you're going to look at an encyclopedia. In atlas, you're just going to try and figure out the map of the world, so you wouldn't look there. And a dictionary is where you find the meaning of a word, kind of like the glossary in our open court books when we do vocabulary. Moving on to our last assignment for today, 2-dimensional shapes. There are many different shapes. Each shape has its own attribute or features. A 2-dimensional shape is a flat, kind of like a sheet of paper. So we know that this is a triangle, a circle, a quadrilateral, a pentagon, a hexagon, a rectangle, a square. 3-dimensional shapes are like cubes with its different faces, its edges, and our vertex. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten to this lesson yet in Saxon because it was supposed to be in a couple weeks, but we can still learn it on here. So 3-dimensional, think about like a soccer ball. It's big. But when you look at a 2-dimensional, it's just a circle you drew. So let me show you on here real quick examples. So we know that this one is a square. Kind of, Miss Nestle doesn't really have a ruler right now to measure. When you're drawing a 3-dimensional square, that's considered a cube. So when you're drawing your cube, you need to make it look like you have 3 sides, kind of like a dice that you roll during games. So we have a square and a cube. The square is your 2D, and the cube is your 3D. Okay? So, moving right along. And these are all on your name tag if you remember your name tag. Because this one is a cylinder, a cone, a rectangular prism, a triangular prism, or a square pyramid. If you needed to go back to any of these pages to use for your packet, that is perfectly fine as well. So for number 1, it says, what makes the shape a triangle? The shape is a triangle because it's red. The shape is a triangle because it's not a rectangle. The shape is a triangle because it has all straight sides. Or the shape is a triangle because it has exactly 3 corners. You should have marked a D for this one. Because not every shape that's red is a triangle. Not every shape that is not a rectangle is a triangle. Not every shape that has straight sides is a triangle. But if it has exactly 3 corners, that means it's a triangle. Number 2, which of the following is a shape that has exactly 4 angles? Well, earlier we talked about the angles in a shape, and we know that our angles can be found in the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you haven't marked these angles on your paper, that's probably a really good idea. So that way you can point to and count the angles at the same time. So the question says, which of the following shapes has exactly 4 angles? You should have marked W, because when you counted all of the angles, you knew that there were 4, 3, 6, and 5. Number 3, which kind of shape has exactly 3 sides? This one's going to be a triangle. I'm sure you knew that right away, though. Number 4 says, which kind of shape has exactly 5 angles? If you go all the way back up to where you are reviewing all of your shapes, you can look at your chart of your 2D figures. Triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, rectangle, and square. You are going to find where it says 5 sides, 5 angles, 5 corners, and you know that it is a pentagon. So when you go back down to your number 4, you can mark pentagon for 5 angles. Remember, use your resources. You had this packet for a reason, okay? Number 5, which shape has 6 equal sized faces? Think about this as what we just drew, okay? If it has faces, that means it's 3D. So you can look at W, X, Y, and Z. The key word in this one is equal size, because all of these have 6 faces, but not all of them are equal. If you think about 2D shapes, the 2D figure that has equal sides is going to be your square. So you can look and see that X is your answer. So for 5, you should have marked D. It has squares on every single face. This one's not equal because it has a rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. And now we're done for today. We're on transitions. 2nd grade, if you have any questions on that, please make sure that you have your parents message me and I will explain it as best as I can. But hopefully that review video helped you. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Keep up the great work. You're doing fantastic. Bye, 2nd grade.